Bibia ajo makwaba de mobile Nsroma Kaseɛbɔ so ewo Apam TV ensem awodro yensa atoso eno na braso se sinkunya na ekenkan ede emamu ende eye wokwada yenyasi na wachiri mu echemu pepepe dia na ensem awodro yensa kano eba bekenkan ede aban sani awosu behu nya ekoso ewo ye man Ghana ene nkofo enkuro emu ne san yonti do ye behwe ensem a edi kase ni mu akotene ade Ghana mampani etia ni nechi na dwumedi okopie mu ewase no wakasa ede afa yesika ensensem no ehu
sa enso na interior minister ene edwumakuo bi ede ahyemu na omuhyiemu die ni nyina ene se omu behwe ama nkofo a eya omu etuo a owotuo ewofie omu didi ene ama ehu hia no mu behwe ama ni nyina etuo atwa
yebeko Washington DC na embassy a ewo eho no ade ampedifo etu mu nanso mprempren wono ede atu edwase oboade ya adom a ekina obebie amadwumedi efrase
wasansem na emu na edom kuma na omo mrahye no ase ye openi okudwoto abloko ase omra mrahye na omeyi ne ho ano botayenti a otum
wo mrahye wa ECG containers a eyiraye no empedifo abomoden akasa ede afan
ene ne ede ni ebetwemu ewo framantamu dia openi a wo ho ye ekuro no hene no wakasa
Wene ensem awodro se mufo bomodian so so ede amaye krojin se ye mekenkan ye de free sotium rescue point ehwo ne yekenkan ede amaw ye de nase ni nyina no be ma Apam Global Church obode eya adomo a ekena empa bokase ebekoso ede ntibo modern se bebi bia wo bia no betunsa fra obi na obi so atunsa dia fra obi ne nyina no ye ba be hyiemu ewa adomo no ase se ne obode betumi esane ewo na hoden so agye edi efri anamontu bi a enye na afi mpokyere emu esansa tro no se enye ye ne honam ene moja na enya na mom ye ne wiemu etumfo nkabrekere ene ye ne won enya ne sa yonti no se ye buri eye Jericho fosuo no a ewo se ye de mpaibɔ ene ye di jiri sa Jericho afesuo no ene nti bomoden se woni mo bi oyade obeton sa dia freni pano no ode ni gidi asanso atato aba bepie mu ewo ha na nkonimde ne fa ho de ni ochie ebe ye san nipa no edia ne sa yonti asafo ne mfuruma ewo Sotium Rescue Point ana Sotium Rescue Junction bebi bia wo bia no fie chichi ne bencheye na wo ba ka bia befu bia no wo de kache mate ni se woni mu usipe ubi so obi bio wo kwantempon awodro no eso wo be kyerɛw bebi asafo no ewo asafo no anadwumedie ne hya se wo bra no nson abo anapa 11:30 ne yede osom no akwa akogu enkyerkyemu obenya asosini media ni nyina no edina 0249 66993 0249 66993 and 0540 378 0540 378 282 924 acheche enko midin edina na ama Fordjour mene
ka kyerenia nana ya sikapa
ene de ma yenda ne ho komra ne ba ye bekenkan nsem no ede ama
mo se oje brema ye twa ye husima eba ye afei ye boyra kase ni mu na ye jinchiremu dia na empanifo na no eye openi Munchaka Mubarak a oye interior minister and eye interior national commission and small light weapon for edishiemu eni nyumakuo mienu miense bi edishiemu wa mobota ye potinti a wa muhyiemu nyina ene se ebi wo hono ma atemamufo ankrankra obi wo hono ma na owotuo bi ewo ne ho odidi dwuma eho ehia odidi nsemone odidi tese odi bokro no na odi ye niam bi a eho hia ne senti na openi ni ekuo ehia se omobehwe na sa niam ni nyina ase abrase ewo Ghana hanum sei ene amanfofro so
empowering law enforcement officers, prosecutors, and custom agents with data, training, and cooperation mechanisms they need to act decisively and legally. This week, each country will present its national assessment. These are more than statistics. They are snapshots of where our nation stands in this fight. We must listen to each other with intent, identify the hotspots, trace the trafficking method, and recognize the actors behind this crime. And then we plan. Not in silos, but as a united regional force. Each of you represents a critical node in this network. The work we begin here must continue beyond the 3 days of this meeting. That is why Operation Cabo 6 integrates a comprehensive training program, regional training of trainers, national level capacity building, and standardized tools such as operational plans, recovery protocols, and threat assessment. Let us not underestimate the value of this investment. They are the building blocks of sustainable security. Moreover, the human cost of inaction is too high. For every weapon we fail to intercept, there will be a life lost, a family broken, and a community destabilized. Let that reality fuel our resolve.
UNODC, the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime. Basically, this is the safe one. I friend CAFO VI. The last one was in another country. This year, Yenny hosting. Now, the attorney said every year UNODC a year should say in a different country. This year, do a society Yenny hosting. And here, Amaya Baha from a baby member Mambaha. Yenina Yeshia said, "Ye bear, ye day are dream, a betwatwa." Said ye baby to me upon the cannon say more use more day quite any true or more use to no edidi in my bonia any or cobokin and in Mali in Niger did a kekam you shall two up did the amount for some of Mudidi Namrasam didi bonnet. And so in Shemui at the Yena about together and to Ghana will be free the kind of same Ghana Police Interpol. Will be free immigration, preventive. Will be so free the Attorney General and Minister of Justice in office. And I young the Small Arms and Light Weapons Commission and you hosting the quorum. Yet the the hadrin back from other countries, including Ghana. Said ye be to me I prevent you and I say
African Development Bank wono afibiano wonu edi eyejumedie sroko na afi ne etoso edunum ba 51 wodo abomodin ahye ho efa wo kyeremu se wo yesa jumedie se ne ebeboa ma ebibirim man won sika samno ebetumi edina brane eno no enam so Magana Mampany's Excellency Ora John Dramani Muhammad ne nyonyam kwata jumedie du echi ogina simpie so no okasaye and some of the two eja NSA or brand new patriotic party NPP amanyuko no or abenjo ekunwa no emuno na wototo nyoma se ema na dollar no ewo soro na Ghana sika no da fom nanso NDC wono ebaye no na ban abomodin aye adwumaden ama Ghana ye sika no edina Nsroma dollar no eda fom nanso wo hyeka ye de ewe bibiri mu a akwa esote akwa akogina 150 billion Ghana cedis a openi no kire ensem ni mu sei.
It's history. Everybody knows now that Ghana defaulted on its debt. We engaged in a painful debt exchange program to restructure debts and to bring debt to GDP to a range of about 55 to 58% by 2028. The debt restructuring was concluded early this year with our bilateral creditors. And therefore, it brought, one, the quantum of debt down, that's the size, but it also stretched out the repayment of the debt. That brought us down to about 76% debt to GDP. Since then, we're left with just 3% of the debt we've covered 97%. It's left with the commercial creditors who hold just about 3% of the debt. And once we do that, then it means that the whole debt restructuring has been completed. But like I said when I spoke at first, I said we need to put any credit that we take or any debt that we take into the most productive parts of our economy in providing infrastructure so that you can have a rate of return on debt. You must do smart borrowing, taking debt where you can create debt escrows so that the income for which you invested the credit can go to repay. For instance, I mean, expressways that are tolled where the toll revenues are escrowed so that they go to pay the expressway in 25 years or so. I think that these are the kinds of things that we should do. There are many examples. For instance, we built a first-class port, and that, again, did not sit on our public debt. We made our Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority and their partners, Meridian Port Services, build the ports, which cost us about $1 billion, and that port is paying for itself, and that debt does not sit on our books. We built a new airport terminal we call Terminal 3, and again, we built it on the balance sheet of the Ghana Airports Company Limited. And so that project is paying for itself without sitting on our public debt. And so these are some of the innovative ideas that we need to introduce in order that our debts continue to be sustainable. But also increasingly, one of the push factors for the debt is the strength of the value of the local currency. Our debt continued to multiply because the cedi continued to grow weaker, and so you needed more cedis. Because our public debt is stated in cedis, the weaker the cedi becomes against the foreign currencies, the higher it pushes up your debt. Fortunately, I mean, some measures we put in place have recently begun to show results, and the cedi has been strengthening. And so we've reduced our total debt over the last 5 months by almost 150 billion cedis, which is very significant. And so if that trajectory continues, the target of reaching 55 to 58% debt sustainability by 2028 will be reached by the end of this.
Every Ghana man penny and semi so na yedi ni atwemu wo bahye bedafie dia adom kuma no wono mo ama mo hu sunu pa omo asema mo kanyina ne se abeto dwa se nanu ya yanka bia nhyemie ho ne yote se eye foreign affairs minister okujoto abloka obomodia atum enjumaku a Ghana ye juma ba ko a ewo eye Washington DC wabomodia atumu na ne bota airport ntia woto sa adwumaku ni mu no ene se obi afa esumasi edi edwuma bia na emfa emra kwan so na just we create account bi na odi usika eba ehono mpe na akwakotosa account ni mu eni hwehwemu akoso na opani ese ene tintontan ma miankasa se papa nkwaje grada bibia nkwaka papa enje grada enti ene yatum mo amu wo honom no mo modi ansesa mo ne ma emfa mra fie na eno ena domkuma ne se da bi yanya de sa uye pani asemba asebi oni mpanimfo ene susu ho e wose susu ho ansa na watu sa anamontuo no eno nti edom kuma ne se ba biara eye foreign minister eye okujoto ablakwa e wo no omra na omeyi na ne ho ano de abucha yentia otu
this side of the house take the view that this action by the minister, this decision by the minister, has far-reaching repercussions on the staff of the mission, on foreign service officials of Ghana across the world and in Ghana, on the reputation and standing of our country in the eyes of the Committee of Nations, on the welfare of our citizens across the world. And we thought that first of all, the minister should have briefed the Committee on Foreign Relations. Secondly, the minister should have tackled this matter through tactics tact and diplomacy, and we're reliably informed that there have been several instances of alleged misconduct by officials of embassies across the world, by various countries and our country itself in the past, and they've been dealt with tact, they've been dealt with diplomacy, and the full force of the law has been brought to bear without having to involve or be engaged in, if I will put it this way, unnecessary populism and rushing to the press, rushing to social media, and taking decisions and steps and making announcements, grandstanding announcements, which has far-reaching negative implications for the reputation of our country. If one person is committed an offense, or if one person is alleged to have been engaged in a fraudulent activity or in connivance with other persons, we support fully that those people should be brought to book and that they should be punished, and that the full force of our laws, the laws of our country, should be brought to bear and indeed be punished unreservedly. That we do not have a quarrel with. Our issue is the public posture of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Minister, which has far-reaching negative implications on the reputation of our country, especially when we've been told that since the inception of the Fourth Republic, we've had similar incidences and they've been dealt with through tact diplomacy. There are several other examples where we think that the Minister should engage the committee more, where we think that the Minister should resort to quiet, tactful diplomacy. If I may say, it's just been 5 months, 6 months into the administration of President Mahama. He's just been in office for 3-4 months, so perhaps he's still adjusting. He's readjusting from the opposition way of doing things through the oral modus operandi to the arena of high-level international diplomacy, which requires tact, quietness, and diplomatic maneuverings. And so we are taking this avenue and this step to call on the Minister and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to engage the committee a lot more. The chairman himself, we've been engaging the chairman and the majority side of the committee, and they also seems to be in the dark in some of these announcements and decisions.
Edaswa ejinemu ewo eye nsamchofo enhyiemu a edom kuma no efeye no eno no enam so amani pa okasa ye emprempre eye Owura Collins adomako mensa nensama odi etu ejenyina erese emesa afi ahyase no ebeto ejase ECG wono containers bia ababe piemu ewotema habono ne dodo no a ayira ne no na ba bonten kofo bebre kiremu se CCTVs wo ho na afa securities awodro ne si dan na containers no etumi ayiraye we ensem a soafo ono ne hye anwodenjuma ensem eso Owura John Abdullahi Jinapo na de betu eja na o kiremu se ote abejukuo so na obeye nhyehyemu osansam no ehu na wodi anu yiye ni nyina no aba betu eja enunu etire no wono de betu eja se wono akwakohu eye containers ni bi ewaso ya hodro wo hwehwe mu no ebi Chinese fo ebi so ye India fo enu na dom kuma yi afrensem twofo dia tu omu enim se figures eye containers a wokoto ye ewotema habono eye 2637 na no na eye dom kuma no chemu se wono figures no ensisusu ye kura eni nti won samra no won be kire ensem no mu yie emfa nkire omanfo
Parliament. Send a committee I was set so investigating containers close to 1,130. You TV Resources Minister and National Security for every containers no factories be. And then I bet one casa from the Ministry of Energy air catcher say containers are almost a year fit to my port. I feel quite more than twice the number now, almost a year free port or port one casa. What it means is in someone here today say containers no ayira and yes and next year. The Kaipa said the former managing director of ECG Dubik can say containers no 8 million and that it should be in the possession of the Ghana Port and Harbours authorities. You did not and then I dare be said our containers I say ayira say na containers in our ports. Yesterday National Minister said Wamra back to Parliament. No a full briefing of the issue about the containers. Indeed, we share daily graphic reports now. Almost say you could retrieve the containers now. Now I quite said the containers naira and I feel no more and just say na containers ni now tema porto according to the daily graphic reports. Let's just say containers na ni kasa ira ni na and just containers ni na e wo tema port. The best minister so umra parliament no a full briefing on the issues of containers.
Yeah, free sa and semi so dear na yediani mu ewo penny or no and that gold board no some fee or no energy in Sembi Atuja. Watch them say Ghana for no obia emfaneni and tofem a fin so or the adisra dear air kwama and say wo onipa bonefuo bia na se oni ya bia obeba modian be na adwen se ode Ghana ye good no be fakoti kwanso e de akobroni krom no wosre se ohu se bibi ekọ ana osusu se no wodwen se asemesi a wonam kwati kwan yisu yi wonye ni papa osemesi onam we onye ni papa na wa report e de ama aposifo ne aso ne panchi esan se de esidi no aba form no ye nyina ye ne sa ebetumi aboa ama Ghana ye sikasem no ejina brane.
At the entry and exit points of the country, and so there are a lot of things that goes on that you are privy to that we may not even be aware. Because we are clamping down on the activities of goods smuggling, now they are changing the strategies. There are those who are trying to smuggle goods through the airports and even through the ports, and we'll count on your feedback or intelligence in that area so that we can clamp down on the activities of such people. Those who do that are enemies of the state, because when they do that, they deprive us of the forex, the dollars that we need to get from our house to support the national currency. Look at when Ghana started producing gold. We were once upon a time called Gold Coast. Oil has not really benefited us like it has benefited Dubai, that does not even produce gold. You understand? So we need to clamp down on the activities of these smugglers.
Incumbent on us, as you said, to also protect our country by making sure that wherever our officers are, they should monitor and see those who want to rip the country out of its important precious mineral. And so smugglers, they should report to us, and we will also relay it quickly to the board so that we can take swift action. As you said, yes, some may run away from the airport and they will go to the port. They will go to the border level. We and our collaborators, the freight forwarders and others are everywhere. We will relay this information to them so that anytime they are processing someone's cargo for export, they should be able to have a knowledge, what is it at all? If it is gold, then they should alert the gold board, are you aware? As we are very much aware that this is the only institution that is by law to export our gold, sell our gold, and bring the proceeds back. We are happy that
we embassy baako a eno no Washington DC e United States of America na ababeto eja se eyade ya tumu enda kakrai eni empanifo kire mu ana keta hyehye proye dwurum ne kankan bi ekoso ewo eho eno enenam so amaso afo ono ehye eye amanoye ensem eso Metro Foreign Affairs Minister Ora Samuel Okudeto Ablakwa Odenkrata ni nsempia bontene ejoda eye me busumni de toso edwenu ensia se enemenim ya wontum se ne ebeboa ma neomi nyina etumi akọ enkan na emperifo echemo woye won hihwemu no wono akọ hu ne se IT eye staff bia owo ho aye fan wo August 2017 no emu Ora Fred Quantin ono ena ne ho bon sa ensem no emu se wakuchiri eye website bi na chese wo baba be ye nyoma hodra na chese akọ ana wakɔ ne private company a yato ne din Ghana Travel Consultant a yɛtwa de tiafɛ ne GTC na sikachichiri dia ɔgyero emu do yie papaapa ɛno na mpanifo hyehyɛ mu no wo hu ya wo kyerɛ mu sɛ sika botene no bampo a emfosa asoye no wo hu sɛ sika botene we na eba ɛno no nam som wo yɛ nhyehyɛ mu no wo hu sɛ opani no ɛho bom mu ɛne nti mpanifo abo modern de nsɛm ato egya wo kyerɛ mu sɛ ɔbɔde yɛ adom a ɛkyena ɛyɛ ya wada no obɛfra sie ebie na ndwuma ahodo bie etwafata sɛ wɔbɛyɛ no etumi akɔ na wasanso kyerɛ mu sɛ wɔno abo modern afa ɛyɛ nkrɔfo asɛbi wɔnim IT mu ama wɔno ɛyɛ nhyehyɛ ne ntutu yɛ sɛ ne ɛbɛboa ma ne ɛkɔɔso no ɛnkonkosi biem wasanso de numbers ɛne nneɛma ahodo bebre no a ɛde egu akwa mu sɛ wo hu sɛ bibi kɔso na wani ɛnkyi a wobɛtumi etia saa ahoma no ɛso ana wobɛtumi akɔ abɛfo ntentan fidie no a wɔno ɛde atu egya no na afei sɛnea nnwoma ankɔso yie ɛwɔ hɔ no wo bebie di a wɔde nnwoma bɛtoto na kwanso sɛnea kɛtɛ ahyehyɛ pro yɛ ne girim ne kankan no ɛtu ebɛtumi echa
sɛ ɛto ebɛtumi etwa de a na yɛsrɛ sɛ mpanimfo mfa ne mu akwan mu yɛkɔ ensɛm foforo mu de a ɛbɛto odwa sɛ sisi a sɛ tobuta na Ghana mampani ebre bi etwam na wode wo ka akwa kotwam na yagye wuska no sisi a wɔse obɛyɛ no abɛɛfo kwan so ɛne awuduru hɔ no ma na wo ka na twam dwen na ne camera ɛwɔ hɔ no a capture ɛyɛ o ka number plate no na abɔmɔde a alinki to Ghana card said ye ɛbɛyɛ ebetimi so alinki to ɛyɛ mobile money anase o bank account na sɛ yɛ 1 cedi na 2 cedis ɛna ɛwɔ sɛ wɔn mo ɛtia na ɔmo ate na eno na bosi tisi abonten a ye bisa a drivers for say ana say enye wo mu kire mu say
new system le ba boa old system no cause old system no service nipa neti ano scan nyina nko nti say digital ne ba new one I think that's the better le ba boa Ghana yes because to no ye nyam fa so oh e de punso adwuma ni nyamanyama so it is a new system body. So I be faso also. I be just traffic ni auto no so ti.
Yeah, ne say na ban kan because you dey call digital the boy. Digital say Ghana form background what digital dey better jamias because ticket no omo print be the frame. Omo no ma correct no mo twa ma ye. Nti ya dem say to na boa. Ba ma yen fa aban fa ma contract bio. Omo yen check om na scanner be ban so enko aban confess mu na ebesra aban se so betimi ayama ya bisa de to enim omo ye creep o mo ntumi nye adwuma mo ti ono omo san crofo no kotena no mo ntwa to no na mboa because obi wo nan ye obetimi aye adwuma na e dina kotena to ano na obi o yare no stress ka ndi se owo ni ndi o de yes adwuma no dia ye fa no kotena na mboa ye se na be ya ebe ma ponto abaga na mem
omo de share road at mu a ni omo twa no te se de we twa road at no omo de share road at no omo de saska no de cover road at mo ombet manye ska because cars ni bebre majority omo na mukrom enyo omo nyina na cross motorway enyo omo nyina na omo fa highway ni so but omo ebi mu twato ebi mu so ntwato be road at ni de obi atwa road at nti ye de share road at mo de ene de ebeboa oman ni nyina tambia system ni adwuma de ebeboa ebe adwuma enye se ebi okodu o na ye system ni adwuma machine na lock na ene na de krono ni traffic ni nyina na eden eba omam
oh sanke be yanka ye fa ni wanu bra ni wanu bo ye ten old one because old one ye disease ka kwa hu bia ye de ko nti be ye fa ni
fisa ensem no emu na afe no ye de yeni atwemu e wasroye a ehye egedie infidijuma e na afe kua ensem eso penin kwanchefo a ono na edan no ene mami Elizabeth Ofosu Ajare mame no ede atu edwa otwemu se aban no ne botaye e wo kua edwuma no ho na eso papa ye na mpempren de wo pese wo ye no kwansonko so a wode emba ni mbebun ehiem
agribusiness e won the subsector e won me ministry ho ye boa ama contract commercial farming yamba ni na ye hu say ye industry no mo use agri produce no omo nya raw materials e be yan wan say tomato to ye kra ene aye gba wa je le ye kra na mom agribusiness abeya ye provide enabling environment for people to participate in commercial contract farming no is to feed the industry and share na buy no launch feed Ghana ɛno na yɛyɛ akua na yɛde ano aduane wɔ fie no ɛna ministry no so yɛbɛyɛ feed the industry ɛno na yɛbɛdua nnuaba a yɛde bɛfeed industry ti for example over 30 mile north a yɛwɔ overpark wɔ hɔ yɛbɛboa no ma nipa dua tomatoes akɛseɛ paa ne yɛde aboa no mɛkɔ bebree paa ne yɛde aboa no yɛwie so a agribusiness value chain no when it comes to financing, capacity building, access to market, value addition, ministry near facilitate money in our basso. It is a conference here. A barely swadi who
initiatives a hodo are buying edugu aquamunina, Ninano, Ebi Cretia Juma Buruja. Say we chef under feed Ghana initiatives are hodo yedeba any acquire yebeboa equiafono amomo a foodie amomodi ado womafono. A bema mbabnu na akum. Initiative back one year presidential initiatives for agriculture and agribusiness. The friend Dobidi initiative. Dobidi no say one year phone kitten 1 acre, 2 acre no. A buying a beson massina candy foodie on the bay phone, a buying the bemomo. Said the bay a few one bit me ado. Na and no crowd no ye share. Ghana for bears at 35,000 a fee no mashas here and no boy a pilot on the first phase no now say embabnu 35,000 and I say about 35,000 and you muhu jima not just a yard ketwa so 35,000 no ya shani kete say emu 15,000 and yet embabnu and
yenya sanse mizo na yen try husima yaba yebetwa so
Paiboso, a chinyami sunsum, a by a braboso, a de shebre, and a brabo hojuma, and Paiba, Sawisha no mease, Yare dauso, Kodana dauso, at a dausoa, Ijan Copon was semo, and in Yamitumimu, and then was Sawashiagu, Nasaso, a Genemone, Yamima, a bomb pie, Sunny Sun, Fibo, or Boniform Puchlim, Yariane Kodana, and oh, how in your name. And into Yawada way near Yawada no Pebia, your tons are from Apam Field, so to rescue point. Sebra, na ye no Jango send him a mompire, na yami 2 minutes, na ho dinti, a dancing dinshra, and any munyam ebeotia, Fahudie, and what ye, a beyo brabo, and Ophidia edia, Benya Sotium Carnibio La Paz, Carnation, Doko, and Aquashiman, of Anko Barrier, Pokwasan, Amasama Sosa, Usubisi or Rescue Point Junction. Unyasi rescue pointer, Block Factory be or Quino, Famusa Nebra anymore. T Junction Dicano, no found Sabin Sabana for. Wabeto Apam fie eho na beto abronsan kese eho no ma Nyankopon be nyina atwa ho na ye di mpaye Nyankopon sha se ya wada no pa we ode wani be kirem ewa Apam fie se wo ba na wo hia direction biara obetumi afre 0249669993 and as 0540378282 Nyankopon sha se wutu anamo na wo de adanse e ne fa ahodie no wagie e ne be ko fidue mu ewo Yesu dinimo.
Shimamba yanda so kan yo homa ye home ye hu kakra aba ye to ensem no eso owura kwabna minta kando eyesofo no na ehwe apomudin ensem eso openi no ede eye kokobo akọ ede ama omanfo se mpox aye freno monkeypox na aba no ye mbomodin se ye behye ye sapomu nso de yenyi suro bia emfemfiri mu esanse wono ye krado ede nyoma egu akwanso se wo beyi edi efrio.
Complex array of health challenges, rising rates of non-communicable diseases such as cancers and kidney failure, and aging population, attrition in the health workforce, and increasing patient expectation for quality care. At the same time, our vision is ambitious to achieve universal health coverage, restore public confidence in our health system, and operationalize flagship initiatives such as the Mahama case.
The whole task of our work is to put yourself in the shoes of your patients and do the best that you can. And your best goes with competency and continued professional development, which is something.
Yentisimu ewo agogloshi edwadikesia ewo honomo ena edwadifo no eka asembi womu nsema womu kanyina ene se yepinche womu ene womu edi nkomo bi enkomo ni nyina ene se yebisa wono mo se say Ghana yetete transport so na yesan so atete sibine eso no eni die mu a eba edin sunsunso bi aba edwadie ni mu anase amamunto si ton na kofom anase sen omu kire mu sei
sana ye fan dada no sana price ni tie ba kakra ni price ni bokosoro nti adentin entumi nkosoro ni se on se ni season no nti yentumi peja no yentumi mbani fom ebegina se na ejina na akosi tam na ni bo be yedi
endra me foka fe yate so na mom ye vegetables for the enru ye so yate say provisions ho ni amade aba fom kakra but me ton carrot green beans yellow melon squash ye the enru ye so but ye bonya me pa say I start the Andrew and so vegetables in the stir no boy a day. Until a bumper say what petrol so ne dear. And comma farmers and so no so much no more
dollar no more above from. As say any dollar, ma'am. And so be beer more I see dollar cost through. Be beer fire see dollar cost dollar cost none man so day. Cost look at a sketch to a beer untimin to hunia manager say dollar na cost be this sketch to a cacotoniama. And it's dollar number from the media to media midday. And at the me pesa buy and say o mo mudi nyama gusto mo ton na board no ye ni say yan cost of ya to say nyama ne board ya yembo ndon komi enya si yembo ndon komi say me do wonnua betimi akoto ade 1 million onum sa ade na wo ton am 1 million ne board
to anya petrol nko na nipa no de ton ade eti nyoma bi wo no ma yemfa no kre ento nten akofa ade aborden a wo ba wo beje mama wo su dwetre ase nya mu ma wo dwetre nse because wo pe wo dwetre because obi say yakoto obi man so and I say ensana de ade ni biscuit akakadro na na omode ye esi akakadro na omode
yemfi emuna fe yenda ne eni nkomra shebedwa efie dia right honorable Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagbin echa mehene a owomra shebedwa efie na openino akasa edinsem bi atu eja ochiremu say Ghana mampeni abomodin eyi mpenimfo bi de wonko Supreme Court se ne obeboa ma ya mamre ene afei Ghana ya mamre ya constitution no nyoma betumi adede de na kwemu na akọ enim se ne ese efata na enu no openino echebu se wabo achire de ama appointment committee se wonso wonye hyehyemu ewosa ensem no
Members, I have another message from His Excellency the President dated 20th May 2025. It also reads, Right Honorable Speaker, appointment of justices to the Supreme Court. On 29th April 2025, I submitted my nominations by letter to the Judicial Council for appointment to the Supreme Court. The chairperson, Acting Chief Justice Paul Bafubone, on behalf of the Council, advised me on 5th of May 2025 of the suitability of my underlisted nominees for appointment to the Supreme Court. Names: 1. Justice Senyor Jamefe. 2. Justice Sir Dennis Dominic Ajay. 3. Justice Biel Simon Turbare. 4. Justice Philip Bright Mensa. 5. Justice Janapari Azua Battels Kojo.
So I ejinemu ewomra shebejo fie dia mama Patricia apiaje or the same be ababa tujane na sema waka nyina ne se ekwan omofa so a omuyi Chief Justice eto akonwa no emfamra kwanso kra.
Let us begin with a matter that strikes
are the very soul of our democratic architecture, the independence of the judiciary. Mr. Speaker, the audacious attempt by the presidency to undermine judicial independence have reached dangerous proportions. The nation watched in disbelief as the executive launched brazen efforts to remove the Chief Justice of the Republic. An assault not merely on one officer holder, but on the very sanctity of the judicial branch. At the same time, the president is seeking to pack the Supreme Court with loyalists. 7 nominations in one swoop, clearly designed to bind the hands of the Judicial Council and tilt the highest court in the land towards executive interest. Equally troubling is the identity of the legal practitioners leading this crusade. While the right to counsel is sacrosanct and every citizen is entitled to legal representation of their choosing, it is profoundly disquieting that the lawyers spearheading the campaign against the Chief Justice are individuals publicly known to have represented
LGBTQ plus and NPP abanu efrasie ono bobo hu ewo mrashebeje fie no aban fofra abei a eye Fourth Republic no wonso wono efrasie e bobo sa ensam no ehu.
Take the opportunity to highlight a few of the items listed in the draft agenda for this meeting. I will not go through all what the leaders have mentioned, but please, we have one bill at committee, the Ghana Cocoa Board Amendment Bill 2025. 3 private members bill, the Property Rights of Spouses Bill 2025, Constitution of the Republic of Ghana Amendment Bill 2025, and the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill 2025 have completed the processes as required by the standing orders and are expected to be presented for the first reading during the course of this meeting. We also expect to lay for consideration of the House the Corporate Insolvency and Restructuring Regulations 2025. So far, 17 papers are ready to be presented to the House for consideration, but I must hasten to add that the House is yet to receive the full list of proposed business from the government. Members' business, as you all know, will come as they are.
Yaguswa Jenemu ewa mrashebeje fie Mame Patricia appeared JSO and Yaguswa Jenano ochiremu se empanimfo bi a eya Ghana mampani appoint you omo se wo maye adwuma no ono de wonfo asokra.
On the energy front, let the records reflect Doomsaw is back, and it has returned with viciousness that reminds Ghanaians of our darkest power crisis. Under President Mahama's second coming, the lights are off. The people are suffering, and the economy is bleeding. The pain doesn't stop there. The Ghana city has seen recent signs of appreciation, but prices remain stubbornly high. Particularly in shipping and transportation, many major operators are still quoting dollars that defy the Bank of Ghana's official benchmarks. who protects the Ghanaian consumer from this brazen exploitation. We also demand a bold, decisive declaration of an emergency to tackle illegal mining, which has surged under this administration. Mr. Speaker, fellow Ghanaians,
Yadasu ejiremu ewomra shibedwa efie na nsema hudo bebrenu a abobo ede abanu mpedifo so akasa ede afan na wei eye nkane nkramante mu aswafo ani ora titles Glover odoso akasa de afa chairman wuntumi ensem no ehu na ochiremu se eye yoku ebo modin kwaton sade free opedi no na wo sha soldiers fo egugugu echire a ana wodidi di wuntumi echi a enhu hia se nkra na obebo ban na emomu no se wo pa won koboku na ho na ntokwadrente ewo ho obetumi akwakobo ban no ewo ho.
What is the issue? Yesterday he was at CID headquarters taking bail. He was asked to come back only to finish with the CID and then they bring him here to continue the same process. Today the money is worse in NDC John Mohammed's time. Today is worse. Very worse. Worse than our time. And you are all quiet. You are not talking. But NDC executives have rushed into the forests. As we speak, are people not mining in the forest? NDC people, are they not mining in the forest? Are we in strange land? Why do you want to behave like strangers? What is the issue? Yesterday he was at CID headquarters taking bail. He was asked to come back only to finish with the CID and then they bring him here to continue the same process. Today the money is worse in NDC John Mohammed's time. Today is worse. Very worse. Worse than our time. And you are all quiet. You are not talking. But NDC executives have rushed into the forests. As we speak, are people not mining in the forest? NDC people, are they not mining?
Every Sunday, Mizonia, the near Churmu, or from Mantemudia, na Wahimpoa, or Alakle. And a day at this radio at Togana Mampany and him say, what's the say, cheap compound, a wahonum no mehe, now won't see a face so more quantum, one more fasono, and yan into what the other radio at all, or monim say, or mura emehe, or bat me, a fire funu, na a quinity, or the neighbor do hasipitino, now a pong, and it was say, or more and tea or more as you friend or more brepa.
It's a privilege Alakula community was able to host this 2025 annual Easter Festival successfully. The theme for the festival is unity in progress and development. And as a community, when the VRA flooding incident happened, it took a very high toll on us. And our clinic at the Kotoka Memorial Clinic became inaccessible to us. And we have to go roundabout before we can access health care. So as a community and the chiefs, we decided to quickly organize and build a cheap compound. We have been able to put up the structure. It is left with finishing and with the medical supplies. As a community, we are appealing to benevolent organizations, any individual who think highly of healthcare. Alakula community, Kuma specifically, is appealing for help to be able to finish the chip compound and make it operational. Our target is by next year Easter, we should be able to commission the project. And we are doing a bypass road from where the chip compound is to through Lambito to Nyehe.
From the Alakula junction to the community, the road is not good. The first seal was done about 8 years ago, and when the water spillage happens, it takes off much side of the first seal of the road. So when you see now, you see the road is like Sakura type of road. So we are appealing to the government to come to our aid, because that is the only road that links about 5 communities. So that is the challenges that we face there. The people have to use motorbike, and unfortunately the motorbike, we have to call somebody either from Savietula or Anglogan before the person come and rescue. It is a big challenge. That is why the community is making it agenda to complete this project before even the next year, 2026 Easter.
Are pregnant women in that town?
More appear for say, Ochna say, Emma, call Yenina, aha, and a day and burning in a babanary, Jumedi Cassini in a babanary, ye, Cordiana make, I was saying, Yamia, do much sooner. I, or Chinano, Yenina, any tremo, our Apam fees, so to rescue Junction, me found Cho, and baby or 4 bonny and the Huhiano. One Cassoni may be our dream say, a sheer Jumedi and Asia, Cassiana say, but the Urama who say, a whole year pan. Enti bomodian efu ani atwemu ewa pamfie nyankopon ya adoma wo chena 7 pepe on a dot enti fa ka odada setena ho ena no twro efa tu kotodwa anim wo sode ye na ye wade nyina wo sore ya na pana na wato ho wa na wate asikwan so fa ugidie ebomodian ebe kan ye ho ne yemfa gidie emompa ye esanse twro na ma ya ati ase se bebi aba ko na mienu wo na ebe pon no awradidi nu na ogina mu dia ene na nyame ya adoma chena fa wo ha no wamane no wabebre sani nyina ebeto ono erade nanimu na onhyew na wukomu enjo form se eye yare e na etete wo se eye eba na wo pe medafo pa me kasa kire wo mesre wo ani die mu a nyame adoma ema bibia entwintwa wa kwamu opa se ebi a wo join ne prayer line no so so a bomodia na frempani for e 0249669993 and answer 0540378282 na empani for so ebe Joe so na omo atro ekwanya be for so be join the prayer line no mo se o tena se na o share like e ma ye e Facebook na o comment ye apam GH be da se nyankopon ensure I said that PSC no so call enfama production team ni nyina ba bi omo obi obade no ensure omo na ene no edi ameje so PSC nua ka kire nua royalty ma me ade pena sikapa mene ana ama Fordjour yakram